Good morning, children. Today we are going to begin our class with the chapter 9, Public Sector Enterprise. Public sector enterprise and private sector enterprise, children, we have already done in the previous chapters, right? So just a recapitulation of what exactly do you mean by a public sector enterprise. Introduction is the government owned corporation are termed as public sector enterprise, or in other words, all industries and commercial enterprises which are owned and controlled by the central or the state government is known as the public sector enterprise. Okay, all this PSU, what is the full form of that? Is public sector undertakings, and their majorities of share, that is 51% or more of the paid up share capital, is held by the central government or by the state government, or partly by the central government and partly by one or more state government. Okay, now this public sector, it is divided into three parts, that is departmental undertaking, statutory corporation or public sector corporation, and government companies. Okay, so in this chapter we are going to study about departmental undertaking, its meaning and features, statutory corporation, its meaning and features, then government companies, its meaning and features. Okay, let's start the first one, that is departmental undertaking. What do you mean by that? Departmental undertaking is a public sector enterprise which is organized, controlled and managed by the government in the same way as the other government departments, and you can give the examples as railways, post, okay, and then what, post and telegraph, public workers department, they can all be termed as what is the departmental undertaking, isn't it? Then I can give you more example, that is of Chittaranjan Locomotive Works, then UP Cement Factory. They are all under the control of the departmental undertakings, okay, under the state government and the central government. Okay, then defense establishment, atomic energy projects, they all come under which one? Departmental undertakings. Now let's have a brief explanation again of what is departmental undertaking. It is the oldest method of organizing state enterprises. The agencies performing similar services are grouped into this department. As I had explained to you, I had given the example, that is, it comes under railways, postage and telegram, broadcasting, public work department. Then you have atomic energy project, defense establishment, everything comes under this, isn't it? And they are linked together and placed under the leadership of a chief executive. A department undertaking is under the overall control of one of the departments of the government. It is organized, financed and controlled in such a manner that any other government organizations, it is like that only. Okay, the undertaking is under the control of minister who is responsible to the government. The minister has to give the report to the parliament about the financial situation, how is it working, everything is under the control, and that is, who is responsible for it? The minister is responsible. Okay, now let's do the features of a departmental undertaking. It is structured as a subdivision of central government department. It is subject to its direct control. That means the central government takes the control of it. The management of the departmental undertaking is in the hands of civil servants, those who are there. They are brought over from other departments on deputation and transfer for a specific period of time, and are changed after a regular period of time. See, all these civil servants, those are in a high post, they are brought to these department and undertakings. They are made the head of it. They take care of it. They take decisions. They work over it, and after certain time periods, they are being changed by some other civil servants. Okay. It is totally funded by the government, and all their incomes goes in the state treasury only, and they have to report to the parliament showing their report cards in the form of balance sheet, that is, how is the departmental undertaking working, whether it is working at a profit or whether it is working at a loss. Okay, then since departmental undertakings directly come under some ministry, they are subject to government audits. Their performance is discussed in the parliament and other forums. Okay, that's what I was telling you. Everything is discussed. because it is the government which is taking care of it, so they are answerable to them, no? Okay, they are subject to budgetary control, government audits, etc. Everything is under the control of government. It possesses sovereign immunity of the government, therefore it cannot be sued without the consent of the government, isn't it? Whatever anything wrong goes happen, that the government has to take the initiative, and then only you can sue. Okay, then you have statutory corporation or public corporation. What is this? Well, let's do first. It refers to such organizations that are incorporated under special act of parliament or state legislative assemblies. It is managed, its management pattern, its powers and the functions, the areas of activity, rules and regulations for its employees and its relationship with the government department, etc. are specified in the concerned act. Everything is given clearly in the act. Okay, and the best example is State Bank of any country is usually a statutory corporation. Then you have Reserve Bank of India, Life Insurance Corporation of India, Employee State Insurance Corporation, Central Warehousing Corporation. These are all examples of statutory corporation of India. They have their own powers, they have their own objectives and functions, and it is an autonomous body. Okay, and it is fully financed by whom? It is fully financed by the government. Okay, now let's do the next. What are the features of statutory corporation? It is incorporated under a specific act of parliament or state legislative assembly. Okay, it is an autonomous body and it's free from government control in respects of its internal management. However, it is accountable to parliament and the state legislative, isn't it? It is not under the control of the government fully, but they are accountable to the parliament. They have to give all the details to the parliament, and the state legislative as to how's the performance. Okay, it has a separate legal existence. Its capital is wholly provided by the government. It has a separate legal existence that has wholly provided by the government. It is managed by the board of directors. They have their own board of directors, which is composed of individuals who are trained and experienced in business management. Okay, the members of the board of directors are nominated by the government. The government decides who will be the members of the directors. Okay, it is supposed to be self-sufficient in financial matter. However, in case of necessity, it may take a loan or seek assistance from the government. Government also has these statutory corporation, although they are autonomous body. Okay, the employees of this enterprise are recruited as per the requirements by following the terms and conditions of the recruitment decided by the board. Whatever the board decides, accordingly, the people are being selected. Okay. In the next class, we'll continue with this, and based